Well, good afternoon, and it's a great pleasure and a thrill to be back with all of our friends to visit with you on the state of the city. And before we get started, I want to thank all the golfers for being here today. Last year, the weather was real pretty, and I kind of stood up here and watched as several of my buds teed off and, looked over here and waved. And, so, man, the rain does have advantages besides the fact that we absolutely need it. But it's good to see a bunch of you guys here today. Let me first of all start by saying that the state of your city continues to be strong, and we're moving forward. The theme for our visit today and discussion about our city is setting the course. One thing we're going to talk about is the comprehensive plan, but I personally feel that it's vitally important that we know who we are and where we're going in the future. Council will change. Council members will change, city government will change, and I think it's very important that if we have a good course through a comprehensive plan where it involves the entire community to put this plan together, we don't have to worry about people getting off track from where the community thinks we should be going. Along those lines, during the spring, I had the opportunity to go to Europe and was invited to visit with the mayor of Bedford, England, which is located in the east of England. Bedford, England, we kind of think we're an older community. They were chartered in 1166 by Henry II. When you talk about a city in England, they don't get chartered unless the royal family says so. So you think they got a little clout, they have plenty. This town was basically an agricultural and merchant area. A lot of engineers, but one of the main things they did, they were one of the first airship construction companies, considered like the Hindenburg, but not the Hindenburg. They actually were making airships before the Germans did. Matter of fact, their two facilities are still there, and the one on the left is currently being turned into a shopping mall. So can't wait to go back and see what that looks like. But their population, very similar to ours, 80,000 people. And I got to sit with the mayor and visit, and one of the traditions, you have to wear his gown. That gown is about 700-800 years old. It smells like it, and it's very heavy. The little gold necklace, every mayor since 1166, his name is imprinted on each one of those links. Now, the young man next to me is the sergeant at arms. His job is to protect the mayor. That is actually the club. You mess with the mayor, you get clubbed. He's also the sergeant at arms. And, I always wonder where the town crier deal comes from. Well, when the agenda is posted for the city meeting, he literally goes out to the center of town and has to cry the agenda and tell everybody what's going on. Then he posts it on a tree. And now we're posted. So, we have all these open meeting laws and whatnot. That's how it works over there. Had a great time. They were very, very interested in some of the technology the city of Longview uses. As a matter of fact, he had gone online and was looking at things, especially like our city send, where we report problems. So he found that, contacted me, and we had a really good time. Like their tea and their cakes and stuff that you do with them. Real good time. We're going to start off talking about community items, and first on most of our minds is the job market in our local economy. Recently, Longview was ranked 14th by Forbes in the cost of doing business. Every year we come and report to you about the recognition that our community receives. That's very important to us. We also were ranked 49th in the best small places for business. Keep in mind, this is a national survey, okay? So I think it speaks worlds about what our business community is doing. We're also ranked 10th for job growth. And on Tuesday, the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis ranked Longview 20th out of 381 metro areas for GDP growth, okay? Now that's against Austin's, San Antonio's, other major cities, even inside the state of Texas. So I think that is a tremendous number for us to be very proud of. Our unemployment continues to run below state and national average. Our local unemployment is 6%, still too high, but I think we are still continuing to create jobs here. Texas continues to go about at 6.5%. In our nation, God bless them, 7.4%. Moody's also predicts that Longview will be one of the strongest performers over forecasts for job and income growth in the coming years. We see a lot of construction going on throughout our community. Our housing is steady. Our commercial is expanding. And over the last 20 months, Longview has seen over $270 million worth of construction. On the retail, restaurant, and hotel fronts, we continue to see strong growth along our 259 corridor. We expect growth will continue in that area with the extension of the 4th Street. Hawkins Parkway extension to Tryon Road is nearing completion. That will open up a tremendous amount of property. There's already a huge retirement facility going in there with the different apartments, et cetera. So we expect quite a bit of development there. Also, I'm proud to say we're also seeing redevelopment along Highway 80. There's been a lot of efforts to try to revitalize that area. We're starting to see that. Our I-20 projects along the I-20 corridor, the new Cracker Barrel, Denny's, a number of hotels are being planned, and we will be ridding ourselves of Beirut, formerly known as the old Holiday Inn. And I want to thank LEDCO for their leadership in making sure that that happens. Thank y'all very much. You know, one of the measures of a community, and we years ago pursued the retirement community ratings, et cetera. And that was because the baby boomers were starting to retire, and we want to be a player in attracting those people to our community. Well, there's nothing probably more important to that than our medical services that we offer here in Longview. And I'm very proud of Longview Regional and the multi-million-dollar expansion that they are presently going through. Also, the 119-bed patient tower. They're building a new 80,000 square foot office. And also, Good Shepherd Medical Center. What a great job they're doing with the new 74,000 square foot facility on Hawkins, right next door to the state-of-the-art Institute of Healthy Living that they put there a number of years ago. That has been an absolute game changer for the community. Go there any day and see the number of people that are utilizing those facilities. So I think we can be proud of the fact that whatever our medical needs are in this community, they are being met, and they are looking for ways to improve at all times. We also recently accepted some awards for Keep Longview Beautiful. We were awarded the Governor's Community Achievement as one of the top 10 winning communities in the state. Now, the way that works, it's based on size of the city. So there were 10 categories, and Longview came out #1 in our particular category for the size of our city. In doing so, we were awarded a $270,000, I'd like to see $1,000. Of course, I don't know what we'd do with it. Huh, Cashin? You know? Okay, I figured you'd know. But anyway, it was a TxDOT grant, and we're going to use that money on an important project to beautify and enhance the Highway 31 Spur 63 entryway. When I was first elected mayor, we were looking for some projects to do at that intersection, and we got a nice board for old Neil McCoy and David Wesley. But now the hedges are growing up so high you can't read the names. So we're hoping that with this new grant money, they'll do some really good things with that entryway. Longview's also focused, and I think it's important that we even refocus somewhat on our higher education here in the community. We had a higher education task force a number of years ago when there was lots of focus on the new university center and some other projects by the other universities. We have been really focused on workforce development with the high schools. Dr. Wilcox, thank you for your help in that, in leading that project. But trying to get kids that probably aren't going to go to college to get some skill sets to use to be, to help us here in this community fill a lot of jobs that we have. But today I want to talk about three of the players that we have here in town. Kilgore College. Kilgore College has done a great job in our community. Kilgore College is considering an expansion here to the Longview campus along with the Kilgore campus. And I, as mayor, am hopeful that we can find ways to work with Kilgore College to make that expansion a reality. Today, they have a number of courses, especially workforce education programs and also healthcare programs. But I am very hopeful that with working with Kilgore College, that they're able to expand the course offerings here in Longview. I know Dr. Holt is here, and I've spoken to him about that. But, Longview represents a large portion of the kids that attend Kilgore College. And I'm hoping that by expanding the size of this facility, that we'll see that number even get larger. LeTourneau continues to offer our community a world-class education. Some of the top students nationally attend LeTourneau. LeTourneau currently is working with industry to form more of a global presence. I know Dr. Lunsford's been on the plane quite a bit to a number of different countries, but they are actively pursuing partnerships to bring national or international programs into the community. Also, several new additions taking place out at LeTourneau, the Sidney and Anna Lee Allen Student Center, sponsored by our City Councilman, Sidney Allen, and also the Joyce Family Athletic Village. Okay, Joe Bob, thank you for your help. And I tell you, it's amazing to see the great things that they do there. UT Tyler currently is expanding its online programs. They're offering a great nursing program, and also I'm glad to hear that they're pursuing new courses. So I'm hoping that we're able to work, see some work with UT to where maybe dual credits are offered so that the local high schools and students locally can gain dual credit, okay, to help, and I think that'd be a major program. In our arts, we're still, with the Belcher Center, we are so blessed to have that type of facility for a city our size. By having that size of facility or that type of facility, it allows us to bring a lot of quality entertainment to the community. If it wasn't for, that facility and the arts groups that have worked so tirelessly, and let me say, the majority of them are volunteers that have worked tirelessly to try to bring good quality entertainment to Longview, and we thank them for that. One of the new programs that are going is the new Longview World of Wonders, which is now under construction downtown, which will grant, kids a hands-on discovery center. So we're excited about that project coming on in the near future. When we talk about our volunteers, every year I stand here and tell you, if it wasn't for the volunteers that we have in this community, the community would not be the same. They are the backbone of our nonprofit organizations, and the list is long. How many different nonprofit organizations we have here in the city that are doing great things, for the people of Longview. Volunteers contribute millions, literally millions of dollars of work based on the time that they spend for the passions that they enjoy to try to make this community the place it is and the place it will continue to be with their help. I want to talk about city services for a second. First of all, our police department. We always hear different things when we do our town hall meetings and we're out in the public about, someone likes this or doesn't like that. But recently, the police department had a citizen survey conducted, and it was amazing some of the things that the citizens, how they felt about the department. They felt that the department was very professional. The department was very helpful. They were well trained, and they responded timely. And you go back several years and you were hearing some things, well, it took 45 minutes for them to get to, well, we're not hearing that anymore. So Chief Dingler and his group have done a great job in addressing some of the issues. Some other interesting things were what the citizens perceive to be the major crime areas in our community. The very first thing, and probably to no one's surprise, was the drug problems. About 38.2% thought that was the #1 issue. The second leading item was speeding at 30%. DWI, 27.6% of the respondents thought that was the #1 problem. Red light running. Now you'd think with all those cameras out there that it wouldn't rate so high. But red light running was 26.6%. And then domestic violence, 19.9%. Another number that kind of jumps out at you is that 94% of the respondents felt safe in Longview. So Chief Dingler and the entire department, thank you for your great work. Then our fire department continues to be a shining star for us. Right now they're having great success with their hot camp, which is Heroes of Tomorrow, where the department's trying to educate our youth about possible careers in the fire service. We saw a really good article in the paper today about some brothers in the fire department, and it's great to read about that. One thing we continue to see an increase in calls for services for our EMS. That's led to us adding our 5th frontline ambulance to the department. One thing to always keep in mind, every one of our firefighters is part of their becoming a firefighter for the city of Longview. They are paramedics. So we paramedics, they are the first responders. When you see an accident, sometimes you'll even see the fire truck, because if the fire truck gets there before the ambulance, they go, because everybody on that unit is a paramedic. So it's great to have that service here. And to Chief Steelman and the entire department, guys out there in their pretty blue, look at them. Looking good. Thank y'all. Let me give you just a quick update on our street bond. Back in 2011, as you'll know, we passed a voter-approved street bond, some $52.6 million. You continue to see work around the city. Right now, Green Street renovation is underway. I'd like to go by the Green Street underpass today with the rain and kind of see how that's looking. One of the things about that underpass, there were gremlins down there that nobody knew about, so it kind of went longer than what we expected. Probably cost more money, huh, Keith? A little bit? We'll see that before long. But anyway, it is progressing. It is progressing. Right now, all of the different Hawkins Parkway intersections that are being reconstructed, that work is proceeding at this time. The Hollybrook expansion to 4-lane is underway. And also, one of my favorites, the George Ritchie and FM 1845 is now under construction. I don't know how many of you know that, but anybody that lives north in the Spring Hill area know about that intersection. There's been some major, terrible accidents up there, and finally we're going to get that straight, and we're going to have a red light up there as well. So, our developmental services, the Historic Preservation Commission has now kicked off, and progress is being made to achieve the certified local government status. Our Longview Transit, the multimodal facilities is progressing. The train depot reconstruction is nearing completion. And also, Greyhound has now moved into the multimodal transportation area. So years ago when everyone talked, I know Judge Stout was part of that, we talked about this multimodal transportation center for Longview. I don't think anyone envisioned it to be this comprehensive or this complete, but it is a complete facility, and the train station should be open shortly. I can remember the lady from Amtrak was, Miss Joy, chided me on this very stage about we got to fix our bedroom if we're going to invite people over to the house. Or, no, she said you got to fix up the living room if you're going to invite people into your house. So, Miss Joy, you're not here today, but we have fixed up our living room. I'm sure the bedroom's straight too. Anyway, Miss Joy, got to fix that bedroom. Okay. Our community services, you know, when we talk about volunteerism, we also talk about the public-private programs we have in our community, and one probably that's fresh on our mind is the man splash pad out at Lear Park. What a tremendous undertaking that Mr. Mann and the family and Dr. Pepper took on to build this splash pad. Right now, City Council recently in our new budget, we put in place funds to build a new concession stand and also to build a larger pavilion. This growth in this particular park has become one of the most popular, park features in East Texas. We have people coming from all over East Texas to enjoy our splash pad. So, great project. Also, the new mountain bike trail for Grace Creek. I know Judge and I's trainer, they just love riding those mountain bikes on Grace Creek, but we do have the mountain bike trail going. We have a new disc golf course. Also, the Longview Arboretum and Natural or Nature Center project has been set in place with a master plan. We continue to see the efforts of Renew Longview around our community, trying to assist with the cleanup, different areas, in particular Birdie Park and also at Spring Hill. One of the big challenges we face as a city is the continuing loss of CDBG funds that help in our community. That's federal monies that come in our community to go to low-income housing and other programs to support, the less fortunate. Well, that money continues to erode, and it's tough on staff to try to make things fit. So we're seeing these public-private partnerships step up and give us a hand so that we continue to do for the least of those in our community. I want to also talk about in our communication recognition. I mentioned City Send a couple times, but actually we've received some statewide awards for that system. This is where someone can report problems to the city and off of their cell phone and send it straight to the person that's going to make sure that who can do something about it gets that message. I can remember Sidney Allen talking about potholes. We called him Pothole Allen, and it's amazing how many pictures we get of the potholes around town thanks to Sidney. So he can't understand how to use the phone, but he got that City Send done, huh? Okay. Oh, and Miss Allen told me he couldn't be here today. He had to go to Boston, so I want to make sure y'all knew why he wasn't here. And Mr. Manley's out with a shoulder surgery. Okay. And also Mr. Frost had a family member having some surgery over in Dallas. So I want to make sure we recognize why they weren't here today. Let's talk about the future initiatives. First of all, though, we're going to continue with our town hall meetings. Our next one is October 1 with Ms. Casher Williams, but we'll continue that. One thing I missed also was that our Channel 5 has been awarded by the state for government transparency. So I think it speaks volumes about the efforts that are being put forth there. I want to talk about the future initiatives that we're looking at and working on or have in place. And they're not in any particular order as far as what's more important to me personally, to the council. This is just what they are. But animal shelter currently is under design. We've hired a engineering and construction firm to give us the plan that we can get bids on. I want to thank the county for stepping up in a partnership with us to build the new facility once we have the plans. We're talking to and developing partnerships with other communities that have some of the same issues we have when it comes to taking care of our animals, and hopefully partnering with some of them as far as the operational costs of the new facility, and with some of the larger communities, talking to them about actually, putting money up to the construction of the new center. So that program is going to move forward. The next step, though, is knowing what it's going to actually cost us. We also are going to work with private donor program. We've been approached by a few people, but I think once people see that the city and the county is going to move this program forward. We are going to do this. I think you'll see more people step up to participate financially with the construction of this new shelter. We had the I-20 task force come to us with a number of recommendations. You might have read the paper today about, you know, some updates on that. Let me just tell you what all is going on with the I-20 corridor recommendations. First of all, the entryway enhancements are being looked at and put in place to anytime you do a project, let me start with this, it takes money, okay? So please understand that when we put things on paper that we're gonna do, it doesn't happen until the money's there, okay? So our job is to make sure that the money is there. I can remember when I first got into city council, 1998, I kept hearing about this CIP list. And I didn't know, well, that's capital improvement project list. So every time I'd come, a citizen would call me, I'd go look at a problem, go back to the city. They said, well, we're going to put that on the CIP list. Well, lo and behold to me, that meant it ain't never happening. That's just to get you off my back. I'm telling you it's on the CIP, but we ain't planning on doing a thing about that. Really. So, because we ain't got no money. So, anyway, things have to be budgeted just like we do in our business. It just doesn't happen. You budget for it. So a lot of that is taking place at this time. We are going to and are starting to review all of our ordinances. I know it's about the blight issues and, you know, structures that are dangerous, et cetera. There's new retail developments taking place right now. We talked earlier about the Cracker Barrel and new hotels, et cetera. The beautification projects along Estes, that continues to move forward. The redevelopment of the old Holiday Inn property, that is going to happen shortly. I think we've got our final bids now. The little bit of a hiccup on that was the cost of the abatement of that place. But I think we have all those hard figures now, and that process is moving forward. Then the hotel conference center development, big issue. Council got a review of the proposal from the architect and engineering firm just this past week or last week. Looks really good. About $5.5 million facility as far as a convention center with a $14 million hotel. And currently staff is working on the due diligence process for the city to determine how we pay for the $5.5 million. And we will be bringing to the community, hopefully, a plan that will not require a tax increase on the property owners of Longview. I think that's very important that we try to do that. Go West Longview, they are focused on improving and revitalizing the west side of Longview. As you'll know, Go West Longview spearheaded the election to allow beer and wine sales throughout Longview. This resulted in a huge amount of construction projects throughout our entire community that resulted in a new neighborhood market concept. We heard the announcement, the first unit by Walmart. It's going to be in the Springer area, but my understanding is there'll be 2 more located throughout the community. So this, I know there wasn't everybody was for that, but it has created quite a bit of construction, and there's other concepts talking about now coming to Longview, which will be good for us. The Hotel Conference Center, again, proposed $5.5 million, $14 million hotel. We're working on that at this time. And then the George Ritchie extension, that's taking George Ritchie from Gilmer Road all the way to 259. I think we've got everything moving forward on that project. It'll actually go through our new industrial park. Again, LEDCO stepped up to partner with the city and the county to make this vital artery a reality. This is going to open up thousands, say 1,000 acres or more of property that will be developed long term, and hopefully it's also going to take traffic off of Loop 281 for people that actually cut through at this time. So great project, and it's moving forward. And then last but not least, as far as future initiatives, is the comprehensive plan. Again, personally, I think it's important that we know where we're going, what we look like in going there, and what the future holds for our community. You know, we want to make sure when people come in to elected office, in the city of Longview, they understand what the citizens want. That's a hard thing for a city council. And I'm sure it's the same way with the judge in the commissioner's court. You know, we don't claim to know everything there is to know about every issue or what people think, you know, we should look like, or what they think the main issues are. This comprehensive plan is going to be about an 18-month project. There's 25 members of the initial committee, but there's going to be breakout groups, you know, to where on different issues or subjects where people can get involved. We're going to have town hall meetings to discuss the plan, but I think this is our time. This is our opportunity as a community to put on paper, to document, and then to budget how we become what this plan, and all of us agree that we should be. So I ask for your help with that. We're going to go to Q&A, but I've got a few questions that you'll see as part of the comprehensive plan, and I think as Jeremy said, you can actually respond to these via your cell phone if you want to. First of all, what makes Longview attractive and distinct from surrounding communities? What was the most important factor for you when deciding to move to Longview? How satisfied are you with the quality of life in Longview? And what would you consider the single greatest issue facing Longview today? So we're going to go to Q&A, but if you'd like to, we'd sure like you to respond to these questions. You know, well, first thing I want to make sure everybody knows, I'm not going to be a lame duck. There's a lot left to do, and in my personal goal is to make sure that when my time's up, I feel like I've left the city in a better place than before I started. I think the second thing that's really important to me, and that's why I talk about the comprehensive plan with the council. Council's going to change over too. City's going to have to elect new leadership. And what's important to me is to make sure that there's a plan, there's a compass, there's things in place that, you know, the next person, you know, can hit the ground running because there's a plan. I mean, a ship doesn't go on its own. It's got a rudder. And I think this comprehensive plan is the rudder, you know, for the next mayor to make sure that that person knows exactly where the city wants to go. Did you have some other? I can always ask questions. Well, go ahead.
Today's a perfect day. You know, water infrastructure, just infrastructure. You touched a little bit about some of the roads and the work we're doing downtown. Can you comment a little bit about the condition, I guess, of our water infrastructure, and maybe talk about, you know, how we're positioned for the future?
Yeah, a good question, Jeremy, because of that $52.6 million in construction projects, a lot of that was reported as street work, but so much of it was water, sewer infrastructure underneath those roads. I mean, like downtown, some of those streets are since day one of Longview existence, and we spent so much money repairing piping and sewer lines and whatnot constantly. So a lot of what's being addressed with this bond is the infrastructure, both water and sewer. On the west side of town, we've been working for several years now through our water fund to upgrade a lot of our water lines because, quite frankly, they were undersized to meet some of our fire codes. So we've been working on that along the way, and we'll continue to do that. But you know, the $52.6 million, there's plenty more left to do. But we wanted to take, you know, a reasonable chunk of the work out there and try to get that done before we start looking at anything else. Well, listen, first of all, I want to thank you for being given the opportunity to serve, as mayor. I've enjoyed my job. I've enjoyed working with, a council, a number of different councils, matter of fact, since 2005. And one thing I can assure you that we started off day one getting down to business in understanding how we were going to conduct ourselves professionally and in order to represent the citizens that elected us. I'm truly humbled by that opportunity, and I will assure you the next year and a half, 18 months, we'll continue to work real hard. And again, I want to make sure through this comprehensive plan that we turn the reins over to somebody that can. What's the old football deal when the quarterback comes in? Son, just don't get me beat. We want someone to come in and execute a really good plan for the community. And I think it's very important we have that. So again, I thank y'all. Got one more of these to go if Ms. Kelly will let me. But again, thank y'all so much. God bless you.